What's up, my friends? It's been a while since we've been in the studio. I have a new camera. It's exactly the same as the old one. I have a new audio interface. It's not exactly the same as the other one. I hope it all goes smooth today, but if you've been around me any amount of time, you know there's going to be at least 4 or 5 issues. Maybe 6. Am I like super quiet or am I like, oh, that was just because the window sound. Never mind. Okay. Welcome to the FWLR studio where we listen to music and we talk about things that are vaguely related to music sometimes. Is my microphone, you're just fucking with me, right? Because I did a test. I recorded it and listened to it and it didn't sound bad to me. So I'm going to chalk it up to you messing with me. Vaguely. Okay. Anyway, let's move on to listening to some music because that's why you're here. I saw somebody ask if they could still submit. We only have 15, so if you want to throw, wow, I haven't used Slack in a long time. If you want to throw something in somewhere. And stop messing with me. Whenever I see, can't hear you, Nick. And then my heart's just like, oh no. My camera's kind of fucked. This is probably going to freeze it. Here we go. Oh my God. Look at that. It worked out. All right. Verbatim. Yeah, sure. Send it and tag me and I'll get her in there. All right. First up, we got Adexi, who actually... Stop. Why am I so gullible? You're like, look behind you. And I immediately wanted to look behind me. Okay, Adexi did a pretty cool edit of my reaction to his April Fool's song, which was cool, and on YouTube. And I was going to share it, and I shared it on a couple platforms, but for some reason my phone was not including it as like a preview, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I'll share it after this stream. Let's have a listen. Okay, so I like what's going on. I kind of agree with Rayham, which it pains me to do that, but sometimes it happens. It does kind of sound like dubstep meets drum and bass, which might not be the biggest deal in the world. I think overall it's getting squanched too hard by the master. Like even in the intro when the lead comes in. It's just, I feel like it's constantly tickling the limiter when it shouldn't necessarily be. Like it just sounds pushed too hard. And then once you start bringing in more stuff, it just gets pushed harder. And I do feel like it's a bit of a mess. I I think there's a lot of potential here. I think it's very epic, and it's kind of cinematic, and it's very cool, but I think the mix is kind of holding it back right now because everything is just kind of shoehorned into every nook and cranny. Every available piece of real estate in this track has been crammed with one thing or another. Dub official, you gotta post it in the Discord channel. That's how it works. So you have a lot of like wubs and bass sounds and aggressive, distorted, like a lot of almost noise. And it just gets to be a bit of a mess. It almost just kind of sounds like it kind of sounds like just kind of noise in the bottom end. And like when I'm listening, if you just dial your brain into the lead, the da na 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 na, that thing, you can hear it kind of fighting, like it's like riding the limiter. Like you can hear it pumping and moving, and the volume kind of being unstable. So like I know you want it to be loud, but I think you got to do a bit of house cleaning before you hit the master stage. I think you got to go figure out, clean up the mix a bit. I think the problem here is that the mix isn't that great, and the master is just getting absolutely butt fucked by the loud noises going into it. Let's continue. Yeah, like, okay, let's listen to just the sub range. I'm not hearing a clear da na 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 na, like the note, the sub, like the foundation. I'm not really hearing that. So let's turn this on somehow. There we go. And let's just listen to the bottom end of the drop sections for a sec. So like you can hear the note. It's not totally out of whack, but I'm missing that da na 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 na, like that super solid bottom end. It's almost getting destroyed by all the crazy noises and the distortion and all the sound effects that are happening. Like we could do this as an experiment. Send this to a channel, high pass it, and then let me find my. Wow, F. Okay. All right, so now I'm just gonna play F. Probably. So it goes F, C sharp, D sharp. So I'm going to try to play along. Goes down to C. C is very low. Anyway, it didn't sound that great, but you get the idea. I think it's a very cool track with a lot of potential. I think you got to go back to the drawing board with the mix, turn off the master, get things not struggling as hard, and then creep up on the loudness as opposed to just slamming it into a master limiter and effects. Okay, cool. Thanks for setting. I like it. Moving on. We got DAW Wars, episode Dog Shit, part 7. Okay. Well, it definitely wins the most interesting title award. Let's have a listen. The ending. Okay, so my thoughts on this is that it's a cool start. Doesn't really have much of a hook or a melody to it. The biggest production problem I'm hearing is that the drums are like all transient. Like I do hear a tail in the snare, but it's compared to compared to everything else, the tail is quite muted. So the track is almost too clicky. Like the drums are just little like it's very, very sharp and doesn't have a whole lot of oomph to it. And then when you pair that with, you kind of have this scooped sound, and I think that's gonna come come from the blah, 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 blah. If you watch. Okay, I don't know what I'm trying to say. So you kind of have this big sub bass, right? And then you have the rest of the track, but there's not a whole lot of stuff in between. And you might solve that with a little bit of the drums, you know, bringing more of the body out in the drums, or maybe it's overdriving the sub a little bit. I know it is kind of overdriven right here. See what I mean? But it's mostly sub, and then you have all like the cool stuff, and I think your sub separation just hasn't quite connected in the middle. So, ow, Jesus. So I think what you should do is maybe try turning off all of the drums and everything. Just load up your sub bass and all of your bass sounds, and then make sure that when you're listening to it, it's filling out the whole frequency spectrum and not leaving this big gap in the low mids. I think that's going to help you a lot. And then try to get your drums a little less snappy and a bit more body, a bit more of the tail come out, you know, like instead of. Yeah, it almost sounds like the track is high passed and then there's a sub bass, you know, on it. So I think it really comes down to getting the sub separation properly set up. And of course, there's a tutorial on my YouTube page if you want to check that out. Okay, cool. Those are my thoughts. I think it's cool. What's the genre again? Why can't I think of the genre? Man, my brain today. Anyway, somebody tell me what this genre is. I can't remember the name of it. For some reason, my brain is not working. Glitch hop, thank you. That's what it is. All right, cool. Moving on. We got burnout, I think is how you would say this. Or maybe it's books or nout. Maybe it's books or nout. I'm going to call it books are out. Warning shot. Okay, before we move on, is this in the dialogue? This line at 15 kilohertz, 16 kilohertz.
First, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. My life has been.
Anyway, let's continue. Is Kaeb, by the way? Okay. I'm not bored. I just I need more coffee. So I like this. I know Rayham is like burn it, but I think it's cool. Kat, this is your song. Why is it called Buxernout? What is Buxernout? Is that your new side project? I think trolling. Okay. I think my main thing is that every now and then there's a sound that's just super quiet, like the dialogue.
All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. My life.
It's like super quiet, okay? And then there's something else. Oh yeah, right here. The little dingle dangles are so down in there.
Suspects driving a black Mitsubishi.
I think I actually really dig this song. I think it's cool. I love the snare sound. I know that that's one small part of the track, but I think it's cool. I think it just needs to be pushed a little more aggressively. Like the Adexi submission this week is on the too squished side of things, and yours is kind of on the not squished enough side of things. So, and it's not necessarily just a master thing. I think maybe just in the mix, getting the elements up in the front a bit more. Yeah, I think this style of music requires a bit of abuse in the master and the mix range. You know, distortion, soft clipping, hard clipping, clipping, twitch clipping, lawn clippings, and lots of loudness and loudness. Loud. Okay, cool. My brain is having a thing today. Thank you for sending, Kat. I didn't know that you had another side project called Bauxernaut, but now we do. All right, next up, we got Bleed. Have a Kit Kat. Okay. Okay, that's very cool. I love the major minor, dark vibe. Very cool. I think that your drums are a bit transient-y or something. I don't know. I would just maybe like audition better kicks and snares. I'm not really in love with either of them, to be honest. I think there's a lot of great stuff happening. But that kick kind of sounds like it's coming from inside my head instead of like hitting my stop messing with me, Divert. I know I can see my kilobits per second and it's 2674, which is very good. So stop messing with me because it works. Anyway, the snare, the snare and the kick are kind of like there's a lot of super cool stuff happening, but the kicks and the snares just kind of slice through. It's almost like you have this like pile of butter, and inside the butter there's like, and the butter is like the good stuff in the mix, right? Maybe it's cake batter. Okay, it's cake batter. So now it's cake batter, and inside the cake batter, the kick and the snare should be kind of mixing in it, but they're like branches off of a pine tree sticking out. Not even a pine tree, like a cedar, a western fir tree, and it's sticking out, and it's been sharpened to a point like those booby traps in Vietnam or wherever they had those booby traps with the pits with the spikes in them. And the cake batter has booby trap spikes in it, and that's the kick and snare. Okay. Those are my thoughts. I think it's a cool whip. I kind of want to go get a Kit Kat now, so I hope you're getting paid for that. But yeah, maybe just audition different kicks and snares and see what you think. Punji sticks, sure. I don't know what they're called, but you know what I mean. All right, thanks, Bleed. That was cool. I enjoyed it. It sounds like it's got a lot of potential. Keep going. All right. Exia. Z. Is that how you say it? Z. Anyway, Oblivion. Holy fuck. Jeez, I feel like I just got vomited out of Optimus's Primus's ass brain. Okay, now it's Tron, but it definitely sounds like Optimus Prime farting.
Jumping on my beat, bass distortion. Jumping on my beat, bass distortion.
Okay, that was cool. I dig the aggressiveness. The mid tempo shit sounds cool. I would say I have a couple thoughts. One is that your kick and snare are in the center, and the rest of the track are pretty much on the sides. Like if you listen to all your stuff, it's all super wide. I feel like everything in this track is on the side except for the kick and snare and maybe the sub bass. I can't really tell. I imagine it probably is. But to me, it feels like too wide. There's no contrast. There's nothing to make those wide sounds feel wide because the whole track is just wide. So I feel like you have taken your stage and you have stacked the entire cast on the edges of the stage. All the actors and actresses and everybody are all on the sides of the stage. And then there's just big gaping hole in the center that just has like a kick and a clap and maybe a sub bass in it. So that's one thing I would experiment with is trying to make use of the center channel a little bit more. I wouldn't necessarily collapse certain things to mono or anything like that, but just depending on how you're making all of these things mono, I'm sure there's some naughty shit going on in there for stereoizing and stuff like that. Maybe just like lay off that on some of the sounds a little bit and get some more things a little more towards the center, so that you can have a more full stage left to right, if that makes sense. And then my other thought was... So the mid-tempo stuff is cool, but I just don't know if I would go the route of like Vengeance dubstep sounding drums from a long time ago in this section. I think that it kind of turned my vocal volume up. Is that what you're asking? One sec. There. How is that? Is that better? Okay. Anyway, yeah, I think the track has like this cool epic vibe to it. And the old school dubstep drums just feel kind of contrived. They just kind of feel like you needed like something there, and for some reason you reached for dubstep drums. To me, I don't dig it. If you love the dubstep drums, tell me to go fuck myself. But otherwise, maybe consider something a little bit more fitting to build up into a mid tempo drop. Because you kind of have like this cool Tron sounding thing going on, right? But then you have this like dubstep beat over it that doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. Yeah, those are my two thoughts. Too wide, and maybe lose the dubstep drums and replace them with something a bit more 2023 or whatever. I don't know. The date, like, I don't really care about the year that the drums were made in. It just kind of sounds like old school Vengeance dubstep samples. Okay, those are my thoughts, but it's very cool. Thank you for sending. All right, we got Swiss Cheese. Let's see what he's cooked up for us today. Mr. All the way on the other side of the world, past his bedtime. Let's have a listen. Okay, yes, I do, I think I do remember this, specifically the harp thing. I think your pacing is much better than it normally is. You kinda... I didn't get bored. Normally, your intros are egregious. I don't even know what that word means, but I think that it applies. So the pacing is much better. The first negative thought that came into my head was that the kick just kind of feels a bit wompy. It kind of sounds like it doesn't really have much mid-range or top end, like doom doom. It's just like woom woom woom, if you know what I mean. Egregious means very, very bad. Okay. Sorry, I probably shouldn't use that word. I thought it just meant like excessive or something, but hey, I'm not a dictionary. Okay, so the kick, I think the kick is too wompy. I don't hear any ride issues. If there was some before, you've clearly fixed them. Let's keep going. Okay, so I don't know what all this is about grabbing MP4 files or whatever. I don't know about that. It's kind of strange to me because it looks like the frequency goes up to like 25 kilohertz. So if you grabbed a MP4, it's a very high quality MP4. Yeah, I think my biggest thing is that the kick is a bit wompy and the drums don't necessarily pick up the slack in that sense. I think your sawtooth sound is like really up front, and I think that it's drowning out the drums. The drums sound really weak because I hear like the womp of the kick for sure, but all the top drums and little shuffly side snare things and stuff like that, they're just kind of underneath like the pads. So I think it could just use a bit more mixing to get those drums a bit more punchy. The drums almost sound like they're just underneath the mix. Like like all your melodic stuff is very, very upfront and sounds like it's on top of the drums. So those are my thoughts. I think it sounds much better than the last time that I think that you sent it. I don't 100% remember, but I think that you're always going in the right direction. So verbatim, yes, I will do that right now. I just grabbed it. So that was Swiss cheese. Let's move verbatim up. Here we go. Okay. Let's have a listen. No name in progress. These are very sharp transients. I'm a little worried for my ears. Let's have a listen. Okay, so the sidechain's super deep. Also that ride, I don't know what's going on with these peaks. It's kind of strange. I feel like there's maybe something a little off by cheese. They don't sound as bad as they look, but that ride is very soft. And you're kind of going for a really hard sound here, right? So when you do this like end thing and all we're hearing is the tail end of that like soft ride, it really kind of undermines the power and aggressiveness of the beat. You know what I mean? Like versus we just got like the 909 soft ride. It's not really like it's not a metal drummer. When you think about this this type of music, I think of it as kind of like heavy metal electronica. Like it's aggressive. So the soft ride cymbal is not really doing you any favors. Also the side chaining, you can see we've got I can clearly see your kick drum sample. In fact, I could probably steal this kick if I liked it. I could. There's a little ride on it. But anyway, you get the point. It's maybe not necessarily that your sidechain is too deep. It's just not really matching the kick drum. Like we got a kick, then we got this little chill out moment for us to all just kind of relax and get out of the aggressive vibe. And then the aggressiveness fades back in, a moment later. So I would say your top drums are not doing you any favors, and that sidechain length is probably not doing you any favors. The depth of the sidechain might be okay, but the length of it is just it just kind of sounds weird and not giving me an aggressive sound. I like the bass line, it's pretty boilerplate, like cyberpunk kind of bass line, but it sounds good. I do like the acid bass as well. Those are good elements. And you can learn a lot by rendering your track out. I think I'm guilty of this too. You spend so much time in the project file where you don't get to see this stuff. You might be hearing it, but it might not stick out as obviously as it would if you had rendered it out and looked at it like I am. And what you could do is you could take some reference tracks of songs that you love in this genre that you're trying to aim for in terms of style and sonic characteristics, and just kind of just visually look at it, and it might give you some hints. Like you might see that your track has this little whoop-de-doo, whoop, this little whoop, whoop, whoop every time you get a sidechain. And then you look at like whatever other track that you really like, that you think sounds dope, that you're kind of aiming for. And you notice that theirs is filled in. Like you don't see the sidechain like you do in your track. So sometimes rendering it out as a file like this and then comparing it visually against another track that you're referencing is a good idea. I think you have a cool start here. I would honestly, just because it wouldn't take long, I would adjust your side chain. But before you really go too far in trying to get the drums to sound right, I would try to carve out the song a little bit more. Because right now you kind of have you have some cool bass lines and a beat that runs, right? So I know it's just a whip, but I wouldn't get too bogged down in the technical side of things until you get the song, because the song is the important part. We all love snares and we all love cool bass sounds and shit like that, but at the end of the day there has to be a song there, or else it's just going to be producers being like, oh, I want to learn how to make that sound so I can use it in my song. Like if you want to connect with an audience and connect with people just in general, then there has to be a song there. So my suggestion would be to just fix the sidechain, because that would only take you a second, make it a little bit shorter or whatever, so that you don't have that big dip after every kick. And then write the song, and then go and try to get it a bit more aggressive and loud and better drums and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, thank you. And thank you for staying up until 2:30 a.m. to hang out with us. I appreciate it. Thanks for sending. All right, 7:20. This looks like it's going to be fucking loud. Mr. St. John man here sent in, it's called Rumble. I don't know if it's going to be a Rumble remix or if it's just going to be a rumbly good time, but we're going to find out.
From another time comes a man of great power, a warrior of incredible strength, a man uncertain of his future, a hero who is about to face his greatest challenge, for he is not alone.
Wow, I could definitely see some hippies doing acid at Future Forest and rocking out to this song. I wasn't as bothered by the loudness once we got to the drop, but why? Why do we need it to be this loud in the start? Like, I would chill out the intro and have the drop be loud for sure, because like that's the style of music this is. But the intro is just like, why does it have to be that loud? I don't know, but I don't think it should be. I think it would be much better if it built up to the drop and then the drop was as loud as it is. And I can't really tell. Is the sub going, like, to me, the bass sounds like it's sticking at one note. Okay, you're playing a D. Sorry, an E.
Let's get ready to roll.
Is it going E to F, E to F? That's kind of what I wanted it to do. I think it is, but it's not super clear. I don't know if maybe like a chord structure in certain areas that you cut in to really drive home which notes, because it kind of just sounds like it's playing the same note the whole time. Yeah, it kind of it sounds to me like it's trying to go, you know, going between the E and the F, and that's cool. But I think just because of the sound design and whatnot, it's not super clear that it's playing those. So maybe, I don't know if you like, have like a chord, not that obviously, but have like a chord stab or something that's a little more clear that you're going from E to F, E to F, E to F. Those are my two major thoughts. I think this is super cool when it gets to the drop. The whole first half of it, I'm kind of like not that, I'm a little confused by why it's so loud and aggressive. So I would chill that out and then make the chord structure in the drop where it goes from E to F a little bit more clear so that it doesn't just kind of sound like the same note with different sounds. But yeah, sounds cool. I love it. Thank you for sending. We're gonna move on. Cool. Thanks. We got Ray. I never know how to say this. Next time you send one in, can you at the start of the very start of the track, can you put like how to pronounce it? Rage send? I don't know. Slow it down.
And so, into this little tortured mind came the idea that that gun had been produced for use.
You're a member of this family, and you're going to act like one. Now, you finish that long before supper, or else.
Yeah, that was super nice. Very massaging. I would say, like a few other people in the chat, yes, get some. This needs vocals. My other thought is that it goes a little soft. Like, I know it's supposed to be soft. Yeah, it kind of sounds like a lo-fi house or something. I don't know what the genre would be, but like, I don't know. Even just like, it's like those claps sound like there's 4 people clapping. You know what I mean? Like they're super soft. Not that clearly, but I'm not gonna try to find the right drums. I just feel like it needs vocals, and it just needs just a little bit more. You know, in the drums specifically, like they're just a little too soft and nice. I think it like kind of like an old school like an old house loop or something. What's the tempo? Let's see if I can. 120. Okay. 120. Okay. I don't know. Let me go down to like some yeah, even like something like this. Oh shit. Let me just fuck with it for a second. That clap is kind of a cool combination. Nah, it's too like hungry, hungry hippo taking a bite. Okay, never mind. Maybe this one? Raptures, it's a Waves Alchemy. I don't remember what it was called, honestly. When I organized my samples and loops, I bought this probably like a decade ago or more. I kind of just like name them whatever to fit them in, you know, like I'll add like house to the start or fills and stuff like that. So I don't really remember exactly which one it's called, but it has lots of cool shit in it. What's up, Bleed? No worries. Enjoy your pints at the pub and then make it safe back to your flat by using a lorry. That was the best I could do. Anyway, you get the idea. I'm not going to sit here and put a bunch of drum loops over this, but like... I kind of do want to sit here and put drums over it, but I hate the hi-hats, but maybe I'm just trying to find like a good balance. Yeah, anyway. Okay, keep going with it. It's very cool. I would try to get a singer on it, get some better drums layered on with the stuff you already have, and then profit immensely and send me 45%. Okay, moving forward. We got Raptures. Nazar. Is that like a laser, but it comes out of your nose? I don't know. Oh, that's the artist name. Sorry. Daylight featuring Lexeverich. 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 Lovrich. Anyway, here we go. Okay, I know you said to skip the extended whatever, but I'm not going to, because fuck you, that's why. So this sound is not in the key. It's not in the key of the bow, 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 bow. The bass sounds sick. The sound sounds sick, but they're not in the same key, or am I just nuts? Maybe I'm nuts. Wait. Maybe I'm nuts. I think it is in the same key because it's in the note that the bass eventually lands on, which is the root, and you're playing this kind of like seventh major thing. I don't know. Anyway, whatever. You're aware of it, so we're gonna move on.
If I don't see it, don't expect me to believe it. Ever since that evening, I knew we'd never be friends. I see your face, can't mistake you for no one else, so yeah. Every day since laying awake up on my bed, you up late night outside, party till you're dead. See the daylight, you don't care, do it all again. See your face, can't mistake you for no one else, so yeah. Every day since laying awake up on my bed, you up late night outside, party till you're dead. See the daylight, you don't care, do it all again. Can't take you off my mind. Every time you said you wanted all my love was a lie. I see your face, can't mistake you for no one else, oh yeah. Every day since laying awake up on my bed, you up late night outside, party till you're dead. See the daylight, you don't care, do it all again. See your face, can't mistake you for no one else, oh yeah. Every day since laying awake up on my bed, you up late night outside, party till you're dead. See the daylight, you don't care, do it all again.
All right, that was sick. I really like that. After we got past that initial issue, and you know, I don't feel like it's totally resolved, but I feel like we're able to move past it now. So what do I have for thoughts? I really like the drop. Everything from here over, it sounded like I was inside of a fucking moldy speaker or something. I don't know how to explain it properly, but I liked it. I know that sounds probably like it would be used as an insult, but I like the inside of moldy speakers. Yeah, okay, so the drop's great. Let's
Take you off my mind. Every time you said
I wonder if so to me the vocals are they're good, but they're not the part of the song that I think of when I think of this song so far, right? And that might not be the fault of the vocalist. Hold on, let me check it out again.
if I don't see it, don't expect me to believe it. Ever since that evening, I knew we'd never be friends. I see your face, can't mistake you for no one else, oh yeah. Every day since laying awake up on my bed,
Like maybe like some doubling or some harmonies, some just like more vocal production. It also kind of sounds time stretched. I don't know if
I see your face, can't mistake you for no.
maybe there's like little altar boy on it or something, and it's kind of fucking with the S's a little bit. There's something about the top end that kind of feels time stretched, and it's not necessarily the biggest problem in the world. It could be a stylistic choice with, like I said, little altar boy, some sort of formant shift thing. But I do think that the way that the vocals are used in the track makes them feel it could maybe be chorus, makes them feel not important. And what I mean by that, and hold on a sec because I might end up eating my words. Let me just listen to this real quick. Okay, this is what it is. I think this is maybe gonna make things a lot better, or maybe not. The vocals should be cut into the drop somewhere, maybe at the end of a bar, pick a important part of the vocal and have it hit. It just kind of sounds like it kind of sounds like a hit it and quit it kind of situation, you know, like I need vocals for the build up. I need they are at the ends. Well, I didn't hear it here, but heavily processed. Okay, sure. Maybe they're in there cut up or something. To me, I think the vocals should take more of a priority in the track, right? Otherwise, they're not splice vocals, I don't think. It's featuring somebody. I'm assuming you wrote this with somebody, which is cool. And I like the vocals. I just think that they could be used a little bit more integrally. And that would allow them to feel more important in the song. Like right there. You're kind of like prioritizing a reverb swell over like a vocal. You could have had like a vocal thing there, but you wanted to have a reverb swell instead. That's what I'm saying. Like that kind of it's almost like the production now is the priority. And I think the vocals should remain the priority, even though you have a sick drop. Like honestly, I don't have any real complaints about the production or anything like that. Balance the vocals with the bass. Drop the fucking bass out for like a couple quarter notes and let the vocal just do its thing. Like you can like drop the bass out, let the vocal do a thing, and then come back with the bass. Yeah, let me see if I can figure out.
I see your face, can't mistake you for no one else, oh yeah. Every day since laying awake up on my bed, you up late night outside, party to your death. See the daylight, you don't care, do it all again. See your face, can't mistake you for no one else, oh yeah.
Like I could kind of hear it in the background, but it's not like, yes, it's there. And it's kind of like you can check off a box, like vocals in drop, you know, check. But they're not, just because they're there doesn't mean they're there. You know what I mean? Like they're there, but there was just something, and I didn't even really consciously pick up on this. I listened to the track and I was like, oh, there's vocals, right? I should probably like try to figure out why I forgot that there were vocals in the track.
Can't take you off my mind. Every time you said you wanted all my love.
You could even like right here, you could drop the beat out altogether and have it a bit more atmospheric. You know, you could have a percussion thing keeping the pace going, but like drop out like that thick bass and the kick and everything, and have like the chords and the vocals and really showcase the vocals. Then halfway through this like breakdown section, bring the.
I see your face, cameras taking.
I guess you kind of do it the other way around. That's fine.
I see your face, cameras taking for no one else. Oh yeah. I see cameras taking for no one else. I could do it.
Maybe too, another thing that could help, and all of this is just my opinion, obviously. I don't know why I feel like I need to say that, but another thing that could help is as you're building up, have Travis so excited to see what happens when he does that. Okay, so as you're building up, so you kind of have like the main hook of the vocal, or like the, you know, like the pre-drop vocal or whatever, but it's kind of getting buried because all of the filters are opening up, all of the swells and the reverse effects and everything are all getting open and loud and stepping on the vocals. Pull the volume back on a lot of those elements, thin them out with a high pass or a low pass, or do something as you're getting closer to that last line of the vocal, and make sure that that line, I couldn't even tell you what the line is. Probably daylight, so you could see the daylight. Like, I can hear it, and if I listen to it, I can understand what it's saying. But it's not kind of presented in a way that really gets drilled into my head, you know? It's kind of just in amongst all of the effects and stuff like that. Anyway, the pad thing at the start and the vocals feeling more important. However you do that, those are my two notes. Otherwise, it sounds fucking dope, man, as always. The production is great. The sound design and the drop and everything is really good. I think the vocals just need to feel more important, and there's many ways of doing that. Or you can just tell me to go fuck myself. Those are your two options. All right, thank you for submitting. That was very cool. All right, next up, we got Pixel Skies, My You by Jungle Kook Remix. Jungle Kook Remix. Okay, anyway, here we go.
Summer has already spread in the air. Breezes already blown. The last coast lamp is going out. The days were getting longer and longer, but my days were still going on and on and on. I got wet in the sun shower. I looked up at the night sky. It was quite a lonely night, and the blink of an dark faded out, coming under the sunlight. Memories with me, yeah. All these days are collecting.
Okay, so first off, the vocals kind of sounded like they were not in time. Like they're right off the bat, I was kind of waiting to see if I could catch the beat, if you know what I mean. Like it was so like the BPM or something about it, especially when the boop 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 beep boop boop beep boop thing is coming in. There's just something a little out of place in terms of the timing. All right, let's keep going. That was my initial thought. I got an extracted acapella from YouTube. Wrench, is this your track? I thought you meant the next one was your track. So there's a lot of it's a lot of mess in the mix right now. I think the amount of reverb that's either been added or maybe is cooked into the vocal because you've extracted it off of a YouTube video. If this is the track that you're talking about, just the amount of reverb is quite messy. So let me just do this real quick. Hearing too many. Oh my God. FL Studio crashed? What? That's so crazy. I haven't had FL Studio crash on me in forever. Okay. Well, enjoy looking at my project titles. There we go. Whoops. You know, oh, fuck. This might be kind of complicated. Damn, son, time to upgrade. Because I don't think these have the new. No, they don't. Okay, hold on. I know what I'm gonna do. Bear with me for 2 seconds. Data, FL Studio, projects, backup. Yeah, there we go. Let's try that. Nick killed FL live. Okay, Wrench. Understood. So let's see. Cool. We're right back to where we were when it crashed. All right. So what I was trying to do was, here we go. Dynamics. Hey, it didn't crash that time. Oh, it's turned off. Okay, so if we listen to just the bottom end. We don't have a very clear sub-range, and that's maybe a good place to start with you on this one is I would probably take the vocals out and focus on I had the reverb when I'm mixing on the earphone, not on the headset, so I guess it didn't go well. Okay, well that's maybe, yeah, okay. Let's go with that at least for now. But what I would do is it sounds like you have a lot of stuff on top of each other and they may or may not be jiving together very well. So what I would do is simplify the mix by taking out the vocals altogether and just focusing on getting the instrumental sounding proper. This is something that I do all the time. I'm currently finishing up a song that I've got probably 60 hours into at this point, and I'm still constantly muting the vocals, unmuting the vocals, muting the drums, soloing the basses. Like, I like to compartmentalize the mixing process. So what I would do is forget about the vocals for now, especially considering they're just a ripoff of YouTube. If you love the song, you want to do a remix, that's cool. But for now, let's mute the vocals, get the production, get the instrumental sounding right. So I have some tutorials and some I haven't made one in probably 2 years, but I do have some decent ones on my YouTube page, so I would go check those out. There's one specifically about sub separation. Okay, so the bottom end just kind of sounds like noise. And I think what you have to do is decide on a bottom end and stick with it. So, you know, if you're going to use the 808 sub or whatever, that's cool, but make sure that there's not a whole bunch of other stuff also going on in the bottom end. So the wub sounds are a bit pokey, so they're, you know, like the I'll watch your review and so try to okay, I'll do it. Yeah. I mean, this is all part of the process, you know, getting instead of trying to like learn how to produce everything all at the same time, just like spend a week digging up as much information as you can on sub bass, on 808s, maybe on drum mixing, you know, just kind of pick areas of the production process to focus on instead of, because otherwise you get overwhelmed with like trying to learn everything at the same time, right? So let's continue. All right, hold on a sec. this part sounds pretty good, except that vocal is really on top of everything, right? It's very, it doesn't sound that great, probably because it's ripped off of YouTube and also because it's kind of probably too soaked in reverb, which accentuates the YouTube sound, I would say. This drop is much better. I don't know what you're doing different on this one, but this sounds like considerably better than the first drop. Honestly, just taking the vocal off this is going to, like, it's just going to make your life so much easier. You're probably fighting that vocal so hard. And you might think it's you that's having a hard time, but honestly, if you gave me that vocal, I wouldn't be able to make it sound good in a mix just because of the quality and the amount of reverb on it, right? So, yeah, get rid of the vocal, take a step back, focus on getting the bottom end solid. Oops, sorry, I just hit the microphone. And go from there. And it's all part of a process. And yeah, here the saw chords disappeared in the drop. Okay, so that's a good thing. That's okay. Let's listen. Yeah, I think your saw has low end in it, and you're playing like these really thick chords, like with a lot of notes. I can't really tell, but it sounds like you're playing these really dense chords that have a lot of bottom end to them, and it's really muddying up the whole mix. And then in the second drop, you pulled it out. Fallout, that is the most, that's the darkest thing I've read all day. Any tips on extracting vocals properly? Yes, I have a great tip on how to extract vocals properly. Once you get the singer in the studio with you, you have to make sure that you treat them with respect, you encourage them, but you still are honest and transparent with them. That's how you extract good vocals. All right, cool. Moving on. My point is don't try to extract vocals unless you're just doing it to play around. And then keep them hostage. Yeah, once you've extracted the vocals, they're not done. You keep that vocalist. You might need them again. Okay, let's move on. We got Night Killa, 9 Circles, Ice Kayab remix. This is like Halloween vibes. Okay, right off the bat, I feel like you could just cut out that section. It was just kind of a copy of the first section and didn't do anything to build the tension. Let's keep going. Okay, I remember this track now. Okay, right here, there's wrong notes happening in your bass, especially right here. Those are just 2 different notes. I think you might be 1 semitone off. Okay, let's keep going. Is that a top drum just chilling? Hey man, if you like the dissonance, then you go, girl, but I would try it the other way because I am fairly confident that it will sound better. What's up, Jacoby? What's going on? Okay, so this track is definitely very spooky. I feel like it's a Geometry Dash song. I don't really know, to be honest. But I think you have brought it a long way from the first time you sent it a while ago. I think it sounds much, much better. So whatever you're doing is working. It's going in the right direction. I really think you should at least try putting the right note right here. I don't think that's the move, but that's just me. So right here when it goes bum, 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 but there's kind of like the piano stuff underneath that kind of it's kind of mixed signals, if you know what I mean, because it sounds heavy and aggressive, but then you just have like this like piano, creepy old lady on a piano thing. I don't know the fix for that per se, but I do know that when I hear, it was almost like that previous track that had that little ride cymbal. It was like which track was it? I don't really remember. But it was like a cyberpunk, I think it was Verbatim. The cyberpunk track, it was very aggressive, but in between like the little silent spots of the choppiness, you could hear that little ride cymbal coasting. It's not horrible, but it does undermine the aggressiveness of the wubs. Yeah, I like the one note ending. It's a creepy track, and I think I'm missing part of the context because of the Geometry Dash angle. But those are my thoughts. I think it's cool. I think you've brought it a long way. I think you should fix that one note, and then I think you should move on to your next track. Okay, let's move on. Nemkai Supercharger 2. Ooh, the sequel. I haven't even seen the original. Wow, that was super cool. I definitely think that you need to master it a bit harder, and part of that would probably require you bringing down kind of the peaks of the drums. What I would probably do, honestly, is send your kick and your snare into a bus and then like limit it, or maybe even wave shape the top very peaks off of it, or just bring the drums down a little bit, because the powerfulness of of the drop specifically, and I know it's not like that type of drum and bass that needs to be really loud, but you're just kind of giving up free real estate in the loudness world here. And when you compare the mastering being off versus on, what you'll notice is that the doing crimes, that's pretty accurate. What you'll notice is that the drums don't really sound like they're changing volume, but the rest of the track is just instantly more present and in your face. We can enjoy the nuances of the track a little bit more because they're just louder. They're much more present. There's no need for there to be that much dynamic range between the drum hits and like the sub. You can see how small the sub is right there. You can see the drum hit that comes right after that. So that's basically my main note, is just to, you know, get the mix a little bit better in terms of the drums not being so loud, so that you can hit a master limiter harder without any negative consequences, and the track is just louder and more present, and we can enjoy it harder, which is it's always the way to go. One other thing is, I did feel like this breakdown and then this breakdown, it did kind of break it up maybe a little bit. I know in this breakdown, we still had like, I don't know. It's maybe a preference thing. Like, I wouldn't go changing a bunch of shit just because I said that, but maybe think about it. Maybe think about the flow of energy and how it kind of goes up and down and up and down. And, you know, maybe it should go more like up, stay up, drop down a little bit, but then right back up, and then do a big breakdown, and then come back for one last, I know you can't see my hand anymore, but one last kind of like, here we go, you know? But anyway, very cool. Thank you for sending. All right, we got Malty Fox, Late at Night Whip. Damn, talk about fucking drums looking like they might be a little too loud. Oh, the start of that sounds like the Reading Rainbow theme song. After this, check out the Reading Rainbow theme song. Okay, your bass is not playing the right note. Let me see. Where? No. What is this? Oh. That was from a previous stream. Anyway, okay, so like your Reading Rainbow chords are in G minor. Every time I do a stream, I just save the project and then I open it up the next time. Okay, so anyway, you're reading rainbow chords. The whoop thing is in G minor, right? And I think the FM sounding bass thing is playing an F. Or an E, I can't tell. Anyway, investigate. Please investigate. Those are not the right notes. Let's keep going. Oh, here we go. Sorry, it's E. Okay, this is better. This is better. Let's keep going. Okay, so you have two things. You have two kind of different tracks. The one is in the key of E, which is like the drop, bassy kind of stuff. And then the rainbow in the sky, I can fly twice as high part is in G minor. And they just don't work. That's very jazzy. But anyway, so I think what you have to do is pick a key and change one thing or the other to be in the same key. What you could do is take the wah thing and move it down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 semitones. If you take your chords and move them down 5 semitones, then they'll fit with the bass. What's up? I can't read your name on that screen. Spirit? I Spirit? L Spirit? 208? What happened to the first 207 I Spirits? Or L spirits. So again, we have this same issue. So I think that's going to be the note for this one is take the chords, move them down 5 semitones, see what it sounds like. Okay, cool. Moving on. Sure, I usually don't take them during the stream, but if you're on the Discord server, you can post it in the May 12th. Let's do this. Hold on. Why is it not working? Post it in this chat or... Okay. Post it there. I'll take one more. Hey, Grim, yes, this is a remix, but it was for Future House Music Remix Competition, so shut the fuck up. Okay.
I've been around the world, mostly fooling around, but I'm sure I'll do it all again. Stepped on too many lines, probably too many times, never knowing when it comes to end. Well, I got lost in the game, too much glory and fame. I was hitchhiking down for another mistake. There's nobody to blame, it's not losing a win, it's a giving and take, making your way. When it all comes together, we don't care about the others, showing we can be better, moving mountains around. When it all comes together, we won't blame in the weather, knowing we can do better on the land we ride. When it all comes together, we won't blame in the weather, knowing we can do better on the lands we ride.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Something was on the master. Oh god. That's why that fucking frequency range was... Sorry, Grim. My bad. I had 3.5 dB added to the mid-range. Yeah, let's just.
I got lost in the game. Too much glory.
Okay, so like the see Multifox. So the vocals are still, I think, too loud, like way too loud. But at least I was like, man, that mid range is real loud. That kind of makes sense now.
It's not losing a win. It's a given.
Yeah, that's definitely way better. But the vocals are still, I think, quite loud.
When it all comes together, we don't care about better on the land we ride. When it all comes together, we won't blame in the weather, knowing we can do better on the lands we ride.
Yeah, that's a good way to master. You show people something and you intentionally fuck the sound up and you show it to them and it sounds bad and then you take off the effects that you've added and all of a sudden they're like, wow, this sounds so good. It's like hitting your head against a wall and then stopping. So okay, it sounds pretty good. I think like I said, the vocals are very up front in the mix, like too up front, and the down ba doo down. It might be a bit pokey with the zaps, like the pitch envelope or whatever.
It all comes together, we won't blame in the weather, knowing we can do better on the lands we ride. I try by walking blind, looking at the ceiling sides, ever known when it comes to end. I am the bird of man with a parrot as my friend, and I don't think there is no shame in that. Cause I got lost in the game, too much glory and fame. I was hitchhiking down for another mistake. There's nobody to blame, it's not losing a win. It's a give and take, making a way. When it all comes together, we don't care about the others.
I think overall the track is just kind of like pushed a little hard.
Mountains around when it all comes together.
Cause like my inclination is to turn it down, you know, to make it slightly more keys. Okay.
When it all comes together, we won't blame in the weather, knowing we can do better on the lands we ride. It all comes together. We ride. When it all comes together, we don't care about the other showing we.
No, Morgan isn't here, Jacoby. I'm in the studio. Morgan's at home. But I'm gonna see her shortly. So yeah, there's like this frequency range that's just really poking out at me.
When it all comes together, we won't blame in the weather, knowing we can do better on the lands we ride.
Yeah, there's kind of like there's a lot of energy in the claps, in the like all the effects and the lead sound. It's all kind of piling up in that like danger zone around 5 kilohertz. And I can tell because when I dip that out, I almost feel like I feel relief. And I'm not suggesting you go in your master bus and just like yank this down or anything like that. But I don't know. I think it's a bit pokey in that frequency range. That's what I'll say. Vocals, I think, are too loud, especially at the very end of whatever he's saying.
Making way.
Like his vocals going right to 0 dB, you know?
When it all comes together, we don't care about the other showing we.
Yeah. So anyway, those are my thoughts. I think it's a cool remix. I don't know the original. I just think it's pushed a little bit hard, and that's really showing itself in that 5 kilohertz range. That's like fatiguing on the ears, which makes me want to turn the volume down. So use that information how you will. Okay, cool. Moving on. We got Fallout 450, and if the spirit person sends in their track before, then we'll listen to that. Otherwise, we are done. Very abrupt end. Let's have a listen to Fallout 450. Let me make sure that I don't have some fucking stupid effects on. Here we go. There. Okay, I'm going to stop it here for a sec. Really loved the vibe at the start. It made me feel like I was drifting off to a distant galaxy. These drums. Let's just talk about these drums for a second. I think you can visually see an issue here. Very transient. All transient. You know? I don't know if you have them going through like a super compressor and it's just allowing that click to pass through or something. It's always the drums. I don't know what you're doing with your drums, but these drums are too clicky. They're too snap. All I hear is the snap of them, right? And you can kind of visually see it too. You can see just how sharp. It could be the samples. Maybe you got to pick some better samples. But like the kick is all I'm hearing is the click. That's all I'm hearing. And hold on a sec. Also, the sub kind of goes away in the drop section here. You can see low frequency for the kick, and then we have to kind of wait for another kick to get, like, where did the sub go? The sub was quite nice leading up to it. The biggest problem though is those just the drums in general. Like, it's not just the kick, it's the kick and the snare. They look like little razor blades. Ooh, this part's funky though. Hold on, let me back it up. Yeah, dude, you got like this super fun, like, I love all those chord, the almost feels like a Mega Man soundtrack or something. It's super cool, but it's really hard to get past like these egregious kick and snare sounds. Ram, stop. I already told them how to submit. You go to here. Don't listen to Rayhem. He's fucking with you. You go to this link. Go to the link, submit, and do it quick because I'm almost done. are no commands. Rayhem is fucking with you. Go to the link on the screen. Anyway, this is what I've done in the master bus to try and tame. So let's go back and forth between this on and off. And what I've done is I've just kind of visually seen that, oh, the only thing that kind of goes above this area is the click. So let me just like chop that right off. And it's bad, but I think it's an improvement, honestly. And now I know it gets a little crunchy, you know, but now let's get some of that volume back. I mean, like, the track is dope. The track is dope. The drums are crack. I don't know. That's not a good description. The track is great. The drums are not. So experiment. Figure out what the hell's going on. If it's like a processing issue where if you compress something really hard and the attack time is like 5 milliseconds, there's going to be 5 milliseconds of still very loud drum before the compressor pulls the volume down, right? So that's what I would say. I would say investigate, figure out why your drums are so damn clicky, and then fix them. But very cool. Like I said, I like the track. It reminds me of a Super Nintendo soundtrack. The Spirit, Mr. or Mrs. Spirit person. If you don't submit in like by the time I'm done saying bye, then it'll have to be next week, which is fine because I do them every week. So maybe you can join the Discord server. Let me actually just see if I don't even see them in the Discord server, so unless they're Fortnite. Yeah. Late, no problem. How about you join the Discord and we'll take a listen to what you're cooking next week. I think that's the way to go. This is me in full screen, full everything. Thank you guys for hanging out. I love you all. I'm glad that I got my equipment working. The past couple weeks has been rough. I had to replace some stuff, but yeah. Okay. Have a good weekend. I love you.